araw na lang, mag-board exam na kayo. So, syempre, hindi naman kami papayag na mag-take kayo ng board exam na hindi kayo ready. So, this day, papasabog ko sa inyo yung mga information na nalaman ng dede ko. Diba sabi ko sa inyo, external storage ko yan. Okay? Pero kailangan maghanap din kayo ng paglalagyan. Okay, ready na? Okay? So, ito yung mga salient concepts na lumalabas sa Gen Ed every season. So, take note of this. Okay? So, first part, for your vocabulary. Okay, so, actually, few months ago ko lang siya na-discover. Di ba mayroong games na sa inyong application, sa Merriam-Webster, laruin niyo yung mga games na yon. Yung build your vocabulary. O, wag na yung true or false and name that thing, ha. Yung lang, build your vocabulary. So, yung mga words na nandoon, doon lang nila kinukuha yung mga lumalabas sa board exam. So, make it a habit na everyday, you play that application at least 15 minutes or 30 minutes. At the same time, you are learning and then you are having fun. So, hindi nyo mapapansin, nagre-review na kayo. Okay, so, ito yung mga usual words na lumalabas sa board exam. So, we have the word rancor, carnal, candor, transmuted, mundane, apocalyptic, emulating, profanity, loquacious, voracious, volition, aplomb, penchant, pulchritude, and a lot more. Basta, laruin nyo lang yung mga games na nandoon, okay? And then, we have your Philippine literature. So, ito yung mga tao that you should be familiar with. Okay, so we have Kama poet, that is Jose Garcia Villa. Okay, pero pa ang tanong sa inyo, who is the first national artist for literature awarded in 1973? So, ito lang natandaan nyo. First national artist, 1973. The same answer, Jose Garcia Villa. Okay, paano naman pa ang tanong? There is Spanish influence. Okay, last season, Spanish ang tanong nila. Nung sumunod, Hispanic. The same answer, Nick Joaquin. Okay, Spanish, Hispanic, Nick Joaquin. And then, paano pa ang question naman is American culture, okay? A migrant Filipino writer wherein the Filipinos concept of American culture is depicted in most of his writings. So, pag American, that is Bienvenido Santos, okay? American Bienvenido Santos. Another one, kapag tinanong sa inyo, who is famous for the love sonnets that she wrote? Pag love sonnet, that is Ofelia Di Malanta. Okay, love sonnet, Ofelia Di Malanta. Okay, another one. Pag tinanong sa inyo, who is the father of Ilocano literature? That is Pedro Bucaneg. Siya yung nagsulat ng Bayag ni Lamang, Biag ni Lamang. Okay, that is by Pedro Bucaneg. Okay, Ilocano literature. Nakuha guys? So sila yung mga tao na lumalabas sa inyong Philippine literature. Paano naman pag world literature? So these are the persons, these are the writings that you should be familiar with. Okay, sino ang greatest sonnet writer? William Shakespeare, greatest sonnet writer. William Shakespeare, okay? Greatest English writer, greatest sonnet writer, William Shakespeare. Tandaan nyo lang, pag ang tanong sa inyo, greatest, the answer is William Shakespeare. Who is known as the Bard of Avon, okay? Bard of Avon, that is still William Shakespeare. So, tatlo yung title ni Bakla. Siya yung greatest sonnet writer, greatest English writer, and the Bard of Avon. Nakuha, guys? Ano naman ba tinanong sa inyo? Who is the father of English literature? Geoffrey Chaucer. So, he is famous for his writing, Canterbury Tales. Okay? Geoffrey Chaucer. Paano pag tinanong naman, sino ang morning star of English literature? The same answer, Geoffrey Chaucer. Okay? Father, morning star of English literature, Geoffrey Chaucer. Who is the father of horror stories? Edgar Allan Poe. Pero paano pag walang horror stories? You answer, detective stories. Okay? That is still Edgar Allan Poe. Horror stories, detective stories, Edgar Allan Poe. Nakuha, guys? Okay, next one. Paano pag tinanong sa inyo, sino daw yung foremost French short story writer? O pag French, that is Guy de Maupassant. Siya yung author ng The Necklace. Okay? Tandaan nyo na lang, French Maupassant. Okay? French Maupassant. Another one. Pag tinanong naman sa inyo, sino daw yung greatest orator of the world? That is Cicero. C-I-C-E-R-O. Okay? Greatest orator of the world, Cicero. Pag tinanong naman sa inyo, he is recognized for his vivid description. Keyword nyo doon is vivid description. That is Homer. Okay? Vivid description. That is Homer. Pag tinanong sa inyo, what is the greatest lyric poem in the world? That is the Psalms of David. Okay? Greatest lyric poem in the world, that is Psalms of David. Nakuha, guys? Okay, so yan yung mga yan yung mga tao that you should be familiar with. Now, memorize nyo ba yung inyong mga philosophers? Like Aristotle, Plato, ganito yan guys. Pag hindi nyo maalala ang philosophers, anong gagawin? Tsupaa. Okay? Natandaan nyo lang, tsupaa. Sino yung unang tsumapa? Letter T, that is Thales. Thales of Miletus, he replaced myth with natural law. Okay, next is that is Socrates. Ang kanyang famous contribution naman is the questioning method. Okay, or the Socratic method or Socratic dialogue. And then, sumunod na tsumapa ay si Plato. So, si Plato yung author ng The Republic. Okay, so sinupa ni Plato si Aristotle. Okay, so Aristotle naman is the father of biology at sinupa naman ni Aristotle si Alexander the Great. So he is a great conqueror. So kung hindi ninyo maalala yung inyong mga philosophers, anong gagawin? Tsupaa. Naintindihan? Anong ginawa nila? Nagtsupaan sila. So yun yung inyong mga philosophers. Next one, aralin naman natin yung mga works ni Shakespeare. Okay, so ito lang yung mga keyword ninyo. Pag sinabing ambition for power. Okay? Overwhelming ambition for power is the cause of downfall of man. That is Macbeth. Okay? Ambition for power, Macbeth. Pag to be or not to be, that is Hamlet. To be or not to be, Hamlet. Okay? Pero pag tinanong sa inyo, what is the mood of the line? To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is noble in the mind to suffer the churot-churot of the churot-churot. So the answer is indecision. Kasi hindi siya makadecide kung to be or not to be. Papatin lang naman sa inyo. This is a story of two ill-starred lovers from warring families, love and war, that is Romeo and Juliet. Love and war, Romeo and Juliet. Paano naman pag tinanong sa inyo? The quality of mercy is not strained. If it is about mercy, it is your merchant of Venice. Okay? Mercy, merchant of Venice. Pero pag tinanong, what is the main thought of merchant of Venice? Isasagot nyo doon, mercy is spontaneous and freely given. Okay? Mercy is spontaneous and freely given. Kasi kinumpare niya yung mercy sa rain. So the rain is spontaneous, it is naturally occurring, and then it is freely given. Okay? Nakuha guys? Pag tinanong naman kayo, what is the general theme of Rubaiyat? Written by Omar Khayyam. Rubaiyat. Okay? Hanapin nyo lang doon yung word na pleasure. Ang kanyang mga thoughts ay carpe diem, seize the day, live life to the fullest, grasp pleasure while you can, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you will die. So, hahanapin nyo lang doon, pleasure. Nakuha guys? What is the longest epic of India? Longest, mahaba, that is Mahabharata. Okay? Longest, mahaba, Mahabharata. But what is the medieval German epic? Basta German, pag hindi nyo ma-pronounce, German na yan, okay? Ni yung light, okay? Basta tandaan nyo lang, nagsisimula sa ni, nagtatapos sa light, okay? That is your Nebelungen light. Basta pag hindi nyo maalala, nagsisimula sa ni, nagtatapos sa light, ni yung light. Bahala na kayo kung ano nasa gitna. Naintindihan? Okay, next one. What is the collection of Indian sacred hymns? So, pag sinabi natin sacred hymns, that is Rig Veda. Collection of Indian sacred hymns, Rig Veda. But careful, baka mamaya nakalagay doon collection of Indian sacred texts. Pag collection naman ng Indian sacred text, that is Upanishad. Okay? Upanishad. Nakuha guys? Okay. Sino si Samuel Langhorne Clemens? He is Mark Twain. Okay. Now, aralin naman natin yung mga types of poetry. Okay. So, for example, pag sinabi natin with meter, no rhyme. With meter, no rhyme. That is blank verse. Okay? Pag without meter, without rhyme, that is free verse. Ulitin natin. Pag with meter, no rhyme, blank verse. Without meter, without rhyme, free verse. A narrative poem intended to be sung is ballad. O pag may word na narrative, that is ballad. A poem intended to be sung is lyric. Okay? Narrative poem intended to be sung, ballad. A poem intended to be sung is lyric. Okay? Song for the dead, elegy. Song for the dead, elegy. Message for the dead, eulogy. Okay? Pagka song, elegy. Pag message, eulogy. Pag tinanong sa inyo, it is a lengthy poem about a heroic figure. So, keyword nyo lang doon, heroic, that is epic. Okay? Heroic, epic. Pero pag ang tanong, it is a lengthy poem about life in rural areas. Okay? Pag life in rural areas, that is your pastoral. Rural, pastoral. Heroic, epic, rural, pastoral. Nakuha guys? Okay, next one. It is a poem composed of 14 lines. Pag 14, that is sonnet. Okay? 14 lines, sonnet. Pero paano pag 5 lines lang? Pag 5 lines, that is tanka. Tanka. It is a Japanese poem composed of 5 lines, tanka. Pero pag 3 lines, haiku. Okay? 5 lines, tanka. 3 lines, haiku. is composed of 31 syllables. 31 syllables is tanka. 17 syllables, haiku. Okay? Pattern is 575. 575, haiku. 57577, tanka. 575, haiku. 57577, tanka. Nature as the topic, haiku. Love and nature as the topic, tanka. Nature as the topic, haiku. Love and nature as the topic, tanka. Okay, sige, practice natin. Ano ang narrative poem intended to be sung? If it is a poem intended to be sung. With meter, no rhyme? Without meter, without rhyme. What is the song for the dead? What is the message for the dead? A heroic figure. Rural areas. Nature as the topic. Love and nature as the topic. 3 lines. 5 lines. 17 syllables. 31 syllables. 575. 57577. 14 lines. Sonnet. Who is the greatest sonnet writer? William Shakespeare. Pero pag love sonnet, Ophelia Di Malanta. Nakuha, guys? Okay, so that is your poetry. Okay, next one, we have your grammar and correct usage. Mag-ano lang tayo, drill lang tayo regarding your in, on, and at. So, ganito na yun, guys. Tandaan nyo lang, yung in, ginagamit if you are talking about something very general. Okay? But if you are talking about something specific, you use on. But if you are talking about something very specific, you use at. Okay? Ano gagamitin pag very general? In. Okay? Pag specific, on. Pero pag very specific, at. Naintindihan? Practice tayo. When I say Philippines, in. Kasi malawak yung Philippines. When I say Manila, in. Manila. Kasi malawak yung Manila. But when I say Ipil Street, you use on. Okay? Kasi pagka name of streets, boulevards, avenues, and roads, you use on. But if I say 533 Ipil Street, that's the time you are going to use at. Okay? Because that is an exact location, an exact address, a specific address. Naintindihan? Okay, now let's talk about time. When I say 21st century, you use in. When I say 2017, you use in. When I say January, you use in. But when I say first week of January, on the first week of January. When I say Monday, on Monday. But when I say 9 o'clock in the morning, at 9 o'clock in the morning. When I say 5 p.m., at 5 p.m. Nakuha, guys? Okay. Paano naman pag, means of transportation? Pag sinabi kong jet plane, tandaan nyo na lang, di ba may kantang, I'm living on a jet plane. So, ang ginamit niya ay on. Kasi sa jet plane, nakakatayo ka pa. So, pag nakakatayo ka pa, you use on. Okay? Para pag hindi ka na makatayo, you use in. Okay? Practice tayo. When I say jet plane, on. Pag bus, on. Pag train, on. O pag jeepney, in. Exception nandoon, pag unano ka, hindi ka na nakakatayo ka pa sa jeepney. Pero pagka jeepney talaga ay in, kasi hindi ka na makatayo doon, di ba? And then pag tricycle, you use in. Naintindihan? Halimbawa naman, delivery of the message. Halimbawa, the message was delivered using printed media. Kung papansinin niyo, yung pangalan na printed, may word na in sa gitna. Just encircle the word in. So meaning you use in. Pero pag halimbawa naman, the message was delivered using your electronic devices. Okay, electronics, may word na on sa electronics. So, ang gagamitin mo ay on. So, for example, sinabi ko, the message was delivered using email, phone, telephone, fax machine, computer. You use on because those are electronic devices. But when I say the message was delivered using mail, letters, journals, diaries, newspaper, you are going to use in because those are printed media. Naintindihan, guys? Okay, next one. Let's proceed to your subject-verb agreement. Ganito lang yung technique dyan. Pag hindi ninyo maalala kung ano yung rules na nag-a-apply sa inyong subject-verb agreement, tingnan nyo na lang yung mga choices, itry nyo isa-isa. Kung ano yung masarap pakinggan, that is the correct answer. Kasi usually, pag bad grammar siya, magiging awkward siya sa ating pandinig, okay? Basta tingnan nyo na lang, ano yung masarap pakinggan, that is the correct answer. Naiintindihan? Okay, next one. Let's proceed to your reading techniques. Are you familiar with the scanning and skimming? Okay, pag sinabing scanning, that is quick reading. Pag sinabing skimming, quick reading din. Pareho silang quick reading, but they differ in purpose. Okay? Ganito na yun, guys. Diba the word is skimming? Ano ang double letter sa word na skimming? Letter M. Okay? And M is your main idea. Okay? So, if you are looking for the main idea, you are going to use is skimming. Dahil ang double letter sa skimming ay letter M. At ang M ay main, idea. But if yung gagamitin naman natin ay scanning, ano ang double letter sa word na scanning? Letter N. That is information. So kung kaya ka nag-quick reading, to look for specific information, ang tawag dyan ay scanning. Okay, scanning. Dahil ang double letter sa scanning ay letter N. At ang N ay information. Ano naman yung previewing? Yung previewing, yan yung ginagamit mo pag bumibili ka ng pocketbook, okay? Di ba, binabasa mo muna yun sa likod, tapos you flip the pages, tingnan mo kung may bed scene. Pag wala, isa uli mo kasi boring yan. Ganun bumili ng pocketbook. Ang tawag doon ay previewing. You are getting an overview of what is the story all about. So, those are some of our reading techniques, okay? Figures of speech naman tayo. Pag sinabi natin direct comparison without the use of like or as, okay, that is metaphor, direct. For example, the sun was a ball of fire over the mountain. Pero pag sinabi natin indirect comparison with the use of like or as, that is your simile. Just like the sun was like a ball of fire over the mountain. So ano nga yung giving human attribute to inanimate objects? Okay, personification. Ano naman yung exaggeration? That is hyperbole. Ano naman yung calling to someone as if it is existing but actually it's not? That is your apostrophe. Ano naman yung what is actually stated is the opposite of what you actually meant? That is your irony. So, sarcasm yon. At ano naman yung delivering a word with a negative connotation in a positive way for it not to be offensive? That is your euphemism. Okay, ano naman yung tawag natin doon sa substitution of a part to represent the whole. Substitution of a part to represent the whole is synecdoche. Okay? Substitution of a part to represent the whole, synecdoche. Pero pag hindi siya actual part, pero pwede mo siyang i-associate, ang tawag doon ay metonymy. Association of a part to represent a whole, that is metonymy. Ano yung tawag natin sa reference to a biblical character, historical event, or mythological character? We call it allusion, okay? Pag reference, that is allusion. Pero yung pag-iisip mo na magiging kayo rin ng katabi mo, anong tawag dyan? Illusion. And that is not a figure of speech. Naintindihan? So, those are the figures of speech na dapat alam ninyo. Pero actually, guys, sa board exam, basta alam mo yung simile metaphor, mairaraos mo na yung words. Naintindihan, guys? Okay. Next one, aralin naman natin yung mga yung mga errors na usually nako-commit natin in academic writing, okay? So, ang isa diyan ay misplaced modifier, o basta tandaan nyo lang, ang rule natin, the modifier must be placed near the word it modifies. So, ilalapit mo yung modifier sa minomodify niya. And then we have your dangling modifier. Sa dangling modifier naman, hindi mo na state clearly kung ano or sino ang kanyang word na minomodify. Okay, and then we have your faulty parallelism. So, para maging maganda yung sentence, dapat parallel yung mga structures within. But there are instances na magkakaiba sila ng structure. So, dapat gerund to gerund, noun to noun, pronoun to pronoun, positive to positive, negative to negative, para pareho ng structure so that we are going to achieve parallelism. And of course, we have your comma splice. Yung comma splice, yan yung mga sentences sobrang mahaba. Tapos, pinagdugtong mo sila and separated it using a comma. So, minsan kasi guys, hindi enough yung tumigil ka lang saglit. May mga bagay na dapat tinutuldo ka na. Tulad ng sentence minsan, hindi enough na maglagay ka lang ng comma when you should have put a period instead. Always remember, wag yung ikakama kung may period, okay? Doon sa sentence because you're going to commit comma splice. So, those are some of our errors in academic writing. And then, usually, may identifying errors, pero hindi naman kayo mahihirapan dyan dahil sanay naman kayo maghanap ng mali sa iba, di ba? O gamitin nyo yan sa board exam. And then, we have paragraph organization. So, pag ganun, huwag nyo na itry isa-isa kasi mauubos yung oras nyo. Basta ang gagawin nyo lang, hanapin nyo yung pinaka-very good opening statement. Your opening statement must be broad. As much as possible, it should present the main idea, the problem, or the scenario. Okay? And then, hanapin mo lang sa choices saan doon yung nagsimula sa opening statement na napili mo. So, naintindihan? So, yun yung mga possible concepts na lumabas for your English. Okay. Next part, we have your social science. So, yan yung social science ang pinaka-random sa lahat. So, they can ask you questions that you learned when you were in elementary, in high school, or in secondary. So, ito yung mga actual board exam questions na nare-recall ko regarding social science. Okay. Pag history, ito yung tanong. Ano daw ang mayroong scientific name na Petecopaga jeffreyi. Okay, Petecopaga jeffreyi, which is considered as extinct. That is your Philippine monkey-eating eagle. Okay, Petecopaga jeffreyi, Philippine monkey-eating eagle. And then, what province was called by the Chinese as Mai? So, Mai is your Mindoro. Okay, Mai is Mindoro. Nakuha, guys? O, ano daw yung first sultanate founded by Syed Abu Bakr in the Philippines? Pag first sultanate, that is Sultanato ng Sulu. Okay, first sultanate, Sultanato ng Sulu. Ano yung tawag sa barangay crier that announces the laws promulgated by the dato? That is your Umalahokan. Okay, barangay crier, Umalahokan. Okay, so yun yung mga lumalabas sa history. O minsan naman, ang question nila is current events. So ito lumabas na siya last September 2016. Sino daw ang first Mindanaoan and 16th president? Of course, that is Rodrigo Duterte, okay? And then, question din nila last time, ano daw yung first satellite na nilaunch ng Philippines, that is your Diwata 1. Okay, Diwata 1. But then, a few months ago, nirelease nila yung ikalawa. Oh, what do you think is the name? That is Diwata 2. Okay, pag nauna, Diwata 1. Pag pangalawa, Diwata 2. Oh, ito pa, ano yung mga pinag-usapan ngayon ng mga issues sa Philippines? O, di ba yun nangyari sa Marawi? So, baka mamaya lumabas yung Mauti Group, okay? Or yung ano naman, pag-host natin ng ASEAN 50, or yung bakit wakas agad yung yung Mulawin versus Ravenna dahil sa bird flu o yung mga ganon. So, yun yung mga possible current events na lumabas sa board exam. Naintindihan? O minsan naman, ang tanong nila ay general information. Just like, what is the largest continent? Asia. What is the largest country in Asia? China. What is the largest in population? China. What is the largest island? Largest island in the Philippines? Luzon. How many islands are there in the Philippines? Baga meron sa choices, 7,641, that is the correct answer. Meaning, na-update na nila yung kanilang answer key, okay? Pero pag wala, you can answer 7,107. What is the largest desert? So, ganito yun, guys. The answer is Antarctica. Pero halimbawa, wala sa choices ng Antarctica, you can answer Sahara, okay? Kapag ang tanong sa inyo ay largest desert, you are going to answer Antarctica. Pag wala sa choices ng Antarctica, anong isasagot? Okay, Sahara. Okay, so those are some of the actual board exam questions pagdating sa social science. Okay, now, naglalabas sila ng mga question regarding law. Pag tinanong sa inyo, ano ang nag-establish ng bicameralism in the Philippines? That is your Jones Law. Okay, bicameralism, Jones Law. Pero pag tinanong sa inyo, what served as training ground for national leaders? Training ground for national leaders, that is bicameralism. Okay, training ground for national leaders, bicameralism. What is the fundamental law of the land? Fundamental law of the land is Constitution. Okay? Fundamental law of the land, Constitution. Okay, lagay nyo dyan. Pag tinanong sa inyo, what is the law that states that the Philippines will be granted sovereignty as long as a stable government is established, you answer preamble of the Jones Law. Okay? O, keyword nyo lang doon, stable government, preamble of the Jones Law. Pero ano naman yung nag-state ng intentions ng Americans to stay in the Philippines? Intention to stay is your benevolent assimilation policy. Intention to stay, benevolent assimilation policy. Ano naman yung the Philippines will be granted 10-year transition in preparation for democracy. Pag 10-year transition, that is your Batas Tidings McDuffie. 10-year transition, Batas Tidings McDuffie. Ano ang nag-establish ng civil government in the Philippines? Civil government, rather say, that is your Cooper Act. Okay, civil government, Cooper Act. Because during the American regime, nagkaroon tayo ng 3 forms of government. We have your military muna, tapos naging civil, tapos naging Commonwealth. Military, civil, and then naging Commonwealth. Okay? So, yun yung mga law na lumalabas usually sa board exam. O, aralin natin yung mga branches of the government. What are the 3 branches of the government? We have your executive, legislative, and judiciary. Okay? So, the lawmaking body, tagagawa ng batas, is legislative. The implementing body is your executive. Implement, execute. Executive. The interpreting body is your judiciary. Pag sinabi nating legislative, ang nandyan ay ang senators, okay, yung mga congressman, kasi yan yung Senate and Congress. Okay, so ang Senate mayroon 24 members, ang Congress mayroon 250 members. And then we have your executive, o nandyan ay yung president and vice president. And we have your judiciary. In judiciary, we have your Supreme Court. Okay, so sino mga nasa Supreme Court? We have 15 members, 1 Chief Justice, and 14 Associate Justices. So, we have your executive, legislative, and judiciary. Sinong pinakamataas sa kanilang tatlo? Oh, wala. Pantay sila ng powers. We have the doctrine of separation of powers. But how do we ensure na there is no abuse na nangyayari in each department? We have the principle of check and balance, okay? So, pag tinanong sa inyo, pag chinek down ni judiciary, si executive, so ano ang pwede nilang i-declare? That is declaring the act of the President unconstitutional, okay? Declaring the act of the President unconstitutional. Nakuha, guys? Let's talk about impeachment. Which of the following is not a ground for impeachment? Letter A, treason and bribery. Letter B, graft and corruption. Letter C, sexual harassment. Letter D, other high crimes. Anong sasagot nyo? Sexual harassment. Okay? Pag tinanong sa inyo, sino yung first impeached president in the Philippines? Wala pa. Kasi si Erap, nag-undergo siya ng impeachment trial pero hindi niya natatapos. So, hindi siya declared as impeached. Kaya ang sagot nyo doon, pag first impeached person in the Philippines, Chief Justice Renato Corona. Okay? First impeached person in the Philippines, Chief Justice Renato Corona. Okay, next one. Aralin natin yung mga forms of government ninyo. Ba't tinanong sa inyo? All authority emanates from the people, democracy. Pero pag may karugtong siya, but with chosen representatives, Republican. If it is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people, democracy, but we are electing our officials, Republican. What is one-man rule? Monarchy. King or queen? Monarchy. Describe the government of England, constitutional monarchy. Okay, pag tinanong naman sa inyo, rule by a selected few, oligarchy. What is the rule of the elites in the society? Aristocracy, which is almost the same with oligarchy. So, pag walang aristocracy, you can answer oligarchy. Nakuha, guys? Ayan. Paano naman pag tinanong sa inyo, there is no government at all, that is anarchy. No government at all, anarchy. No private property, communism. Everything is owned by the government, communism. There is equal distribution of wealth, communism. Nakuha? Paano naman ba tinanong sa inyo? What is the leadership of people by talent? Meritocracy. Leadership of people by talent. Meritocracy. Pagka national affairs will be solved at the national level, local affairs will be solved at the local level, that is your federalism. Okay, federalism. And ito, actual board exam question. Ano daw kapag yung executive and legislative is within the powers of the president, we call it presidential. Executive plus legislative within the president. I'm sorry. Okay, executive and legislative, that is your parliamentary. Okay, executive plus legislative, that is your parliamentary. Pero pag executive only, that is your presidential. Okay, executive, legislative, parliamentary, executive only, presidential. Nakuha, guys, yung mga forms of government? Okay, next one. Aralin naman natin yung inyong mga writ, mga batas, mga rights, gano'n. Okay, pag tinanong sa inyo, what is the right to life, liberty, and security? Writ of amparo. Bring me the body, writ of habeas corpus. Bring me the information, writ of habeas data. Show me the witness in the court, writ of habeas corpus. Show me the documents, writ of habeas data. Basta tandaan nyo na lang, guys, pag ang hinihingi sa inyo ay body, that is corpus. Pero pag ang hinihingi sa inyo ay information, that is data. Naintindihan? So what is the right to a balanced and healthful ecology? That is your writ of kalikasan. Okay, balance and healthful ecology, writ of kalikasan. What is your right to enjoy life? Okay, civil rights. Okay, your right to enjoy life, civil rights. What is your right to participate in governance, including the right to vote and the right to seek public office? That is your political rights. So, tandaan nyo, guys, pag mayroong participation in governance, that is your political rights. Okay? What is the right to vote? Suffrage. What is the right to seek public office? Suffrage, then hinati ko lang kanyang definition. Suffrage is the right to vote and the right to seek public office. Okay? So, pag right to vote, suffrage. Pag right to seek public office, suffrage. But what is given the right to vote? That is franchise. Okay? Given the right to vote, franchise. What is the removal of the right to vote? Disenfranchise. Okay? Given the right to vote, franchise, the removal of the right to vote, disenfranchise. But if you are thrown to another country or away from home, ang tawag dyan ay exiled. Okay? Thrown to another country or away from home, that is exiled. Pero pag you are sentenced to death, that is execution. Execution. Okay? Naintindihan, guys? Okay, ulitin natin. What is the right to life, liberty, security? Amparo. Bring me the body. Corpus. Bring me the information. Data. Show me the witness. Corpus. Show me the documents. Data. Right to a balanced and healthful ecology. That is your writ of kalikasan. What is the right to enjoy life? Civil rights. Okay, right to enjoy life. Civil rights. Participation in governance. Political rights. What is your right to vote? Suffrage. What is your right to seek public office? Suffrage. What is given the right to vote? Franchised. What is removal of the right to vote? Disenfranchised. If you are thrown to another country, exiled. But if you are sentenced to death, executed. Naintindihan? Okay, next one, aralin naman natin yung mga convention. So kapag sinabi natin territories of the sea, that is your UNCLOS. United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Pero pag nakita ninyo ang Geneva Convention, that is about soldiers, that is vindication of soldiers who became incapable of fighting. Ano naman kapag nakita nyo doon ay Kyoto Protocol. Si Kyoto Protocol is about mitigating the consequences of global warming. So in short, that is about environment. Because Kyoto Protocol, binuo siya during the Rio de Janeiro Convention na mayroong dalawang advocacy. So yung advocacy ng Rio de Janeiro Convention is environmental protection and sustainable development. Kaya pag tinanong kayo, the Kyoto Protocol advocates blank, you answer environmental protection. Naintindihan? Okay, who were the first missionaries to arrive in the Philippines? Augustinians, and it was followed by Franciscans, followed by Jesuits, followed by Dominicans, followed by Recollects, and Benevolents. Okay? Basta guys, hayaan nyo na yun, ang mahalaga na una, Augustinians. Okay? Matinanong naman, who were the first aboriginal settlers in the Philippines? Aboriginal settlers, that is your Negritos, followed by Indones, followed by Malays. Okay? Negritos, Indones, and Malays. Who were the first teacher of Filipinos? First teacher, that is your American